Hello everyone, I'm Tim Moynahan, and this is Minutes with Moynahan. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Big Apple Motel case. The Big Apple is located on West Main Street in downtown Waterbury. And on April 14th, a Friday evening at about 5:30 p.m., protesters gathered outside the building to protest something, an allegation that had been made and disproved a week earlier against the owners of the Big Apple Motel. So I'm going to call this episode Shattered Dreams and Broken Lives. The emphasis in episode 1, because this story, it can be complex unless it's broken down into segments. So the Shattered Dreams will involve the dreams of the Ahmed family, Aziz Ahmed, his son Umar, and their family, who came to America with a dream, the American dream, where they could speak freely, earn a living, and serve their community. All of the things that we treasure, we value as Americans. So I'm going to tell you more about them in a subsequent episode. But today I'm going to focus on some questions, and then I'm going to flesh out some of the facts so that you can be thinking about the questions I raise. The big question is, when can a lie destroy? What happens when a lie takes on a life of its own? Well, rumor, malicious gossip, and a malicious lie nearly destroyed a Waterbury building and the dreams and crushed the lives and dreams of the people who were here pursuing the American dream. Is a protest legitimate? I'm going to ask you. It's a big question these days. Is it legitimate when it's based on a lie? Does it have to be an outright lie? Can it be a shading of the truth, an exaggeration? In this case, it was an outright lie, easily disproved and had been disproved. Now, when that so-called peaceful protest degenerates into a mob, how can that be justified? What do we do to protect against that? We see it happening and happening again and again. There must be a solution. The solution, of course, is going to begin with ourselves and our recognition of a lie when it's utilized and propagandized. So on April 14th, as I said, shortly after 5:30, they hadn't been there for too long, the mob took over the protest. And remember, the basic, sad, incontrovertible fact here is that there was no reason for the protest. So why was it the protest, why was it incited in the first place? It was organized based upon information and belief and reports of what occurred that evening and subsequently. It was organized by Rone Mason Craig, who garnered 200 signatures on a petition, stirred up the antagonisms of a crowd who gathered on some fictitious grounds, and then proceeded, even though Ms. Craig had reason to believe, had knowledge that there was no basis for a protest. Because here's the lie. A young black girl had been kidnapped. Now, it's true she was missing. She was then, the lie proceeded to emphasize, she was taken to the Big Apple Motel, and she was harmed, raped, violated, tortured for days. Now, that would be so horrendous that it beggars the imagination. But how horrendous and how much does it beggar the imagination when I tell you it wasn't true? It never happened. And they knew it wasn't happened. The girl was not harmed. She was not kidnapped. She, as a matter of fact, one of the central pieces of evidence here is a post a week before, I believe it was April 7th, precisely a week before, that the mother of her boyfriend said the young lady was back, she was unharmed, and she was accusing no one. Still, the protesters gathered, and boy, did they gather, and boy, oh boy, did they do damage. And did they threaten lives? And did they do irreparable harm? All, yes, affirmative to the above. So what triggered the unquestioned acceptance of a reckless rumor and a deliberate lie? What lessons are provided here, and what can we do to turn this into a teaching moment? Because if it's not a teaching moment, then it's a moment lost forever. It's just another incident, another grievous harm, brushed aside, ignored, accepted. Well, none of that is to be tolerated in our city or in our country, certainly not on this program, Minutes with Moynahan. First, we must acknowledge that what was done to a decent citizen has also been done to us. This gets back to the idea that we are all interconnected, regardless of race, color, or creed. We are all brothers and sisters. Muslims, Christians, Hindus, we're all in this together. And if we're not in it together, as one of the American patriots said, if we don't hang together, we're most assuredly going to hang separately. So this incident should serve as an example for all of us. Get the facts before you wave a sign. Learn the truth before you march. The truth isn't going away, but the march can wait. The protest can wait. It mustn't be done on a whim or on an imaginative, creative scenario. The horde, that's what I'll call them, the horde that accumulated before, got together before the Big Apple Motel, brandished signs like F the Waterbury Police and sex trafficking here. Burn down the Big Apple. To this we have come on a lie, on a fabrication. They wrote on the windows and then they shattered them. They invaded the lobby. They threw bricks and stones into the lobby, through the windows, and destroyed a television and furniture. They spit on, they cursed, they terrorized the staff. They clambered onto the roof to smash and tear down the neon signs. Have you not heard about this? It's been in the local Waterbury paper. I imagine other papers. Has it been given the attention it deserves? Has the outrage of it all been underscored? Has anyone picked up the cause of these decent people so victimized? Members of a minority community? Were they chosen to be victimized because they're minorities? Not necessarily because of their faith, but because they were perceived to be lacking in influence and strength. They were the low-hanging fruit, the easy target for despoilers. And I don't use the term despoilers lightly. I'm talking about despoilers of governmental integrity, respect for the police, love of country, love of city, love of state. I want the perpetrators to know that we will track them down. The police are still investigating, but we will track them down. My extraordinary clients, and I mean extraordinary, have told me they are willing to forgive the perpetrators. Yeah, you heard me right. They're willing to forgive. But there is a condition. They want to know who the perpetrators were. They want to know what motivated them, where the lie came from, who organized them, who knew the lie was a lie and still persisted days and weeks after the riotous conduct. They want to know who provided the transportation for rioters who came up the valley from Derby and Ansonia and from God knows where else. They want to know the truth. And they want a sincere apology for those who, some of whom, quite a few have already said, we signed that petition, we didn't know what we were signing, and we participated. That is the antithesis of good citizenship. So there's no pretending here that the protesters, whether they join the rioters or not, there's no pretense here that they were good citizens, doing, what the American Constitution provides, protesting a wrong. First obligation is to know that what was being protested was wrong. They didn't do this. But if they apologize sincerely, they recant the lies that they have told, my clients will forgive them. Justice is the only way for the Ahmed family. And if you are sufficiently attuned, if you come awake, not woke, come awake, the community can heal through this tragic incident. I'm going to close by looking at a paper here so that I can attribute the words of Miss Craig, the organizer of this riot, accurately. Now, I must say I haven't talked to Miss Craig, so this is what I got from the newspaper. She's quoted as saying, the hotel is a place where drugs, sexual assaults, and other illegal activity has frequently occurred. That is blatantly untrue. And what is blatantly untrue is just a gentleman's way of saying it's an outright lie. That is a lie. She had reason to know it was a lie when she said that to the newspaper. My question is why? Who? What? It should be the questions that we all share. Now, she went on, we must hold the police accountable. So it's the police again. Accountability for the police. She didn't say we need to hold me accountable. I went off on my tangent. She hasn't explained why. She certainly didn't say those that climbed the building and tore down the sign terrorized the people inside the hotel, the owner and his employees. She didn't say we have to hold them accountable. Remember, if you saw a previous episode, that my passion, then, now, and into the future, is accountability. And there's a big M that goes with accountability. There's a big A that goes with accountability, but there's an M that precedes it. It's mutual accountability. Don't dare say that you hold the police accountable or they must be held accountable unless you're going to say hold everybody accountable. All accountability matters. So she was not finished with her baseless harangue. She said this place is a safety issue and greatly affects the families within Waterbury. Absolutely, demonstrably false. Next episode, I will tell you something more about the Ahmad family, the kind of citizens they were, the support they gave to those in need, their record of stewardship over a hotel, a motel. It is enviable. I'll tell you all of that. And I'll point out to you, perhaps I'll take a moment to remind you of her words, a safety issue affecting families within Waterbury. That is disgraceful. That is hurtful beyond words to describe. If you knew, or if she knew, of the sacrifices, of the efforts, of the hours, truly of the love that these people have, not only for one another, but the care and affection they have for their patrons, their responsibility as citizens to law enforcement and in cooperation with law enforcement. Well, anybody who made these allegations and had a tail would stick that tail between his or her legs and ashamedly move out of town. It's that kind of a disgrace. So will she apologize? I'm going to respectfully ask for an apology and an explanation. I hope that I hear from her. My website is moynahanlaw.com. It's very easy to reach me. I like to say 24/7, but I hope she doesn't take advantage of that. Let's try to make it within business hours, 6 in the morning till 8 at night, just one of the shorter days. But anyway, there will be a reckoning. This is not a shouting match. This is not pointing fingers, accusations that can't be met. There will be justice, and there will be an accounting. So to listen to more, wait for the next episode. I appreciate your listening, watching, spending this time with me. If you like, hit the like button. If you care to subscribe, again, it will be my honor to have you as a subscriber and a participant. And I look forward until the next time. Thanks for your attention, and see you soon.